Hey, Ken, I went to Harbor Freight the other day.
Yeah.
Not that it struck me. I need to kind of have a conversation with you because they offer a greenhouse over there. And my wife's like, hey, sounds like a good idea. I'm like, I don't know. Do we have to have a permit for a greenhouse? A clear greenhouse?
Probably accessory. Where'd you have to go today?
I didn't.
This meeting in order. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You'll also hear one at 6:30 too. Sorry.
All right, we'll start with roll call. Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholtz.
Yes.
Mr. Easterwood,
Yes.
Mr. Klukowski, or Ms. Klukowski, sorry.
Yes.
Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? Okay. Does anyone have any changes? Not, what about the minutes from the previous meeting? Has everyone had a chance to review those? Any additions, corrections? If not, do I have a motion to mark as read?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? All right, we do have first year here, so we have a couple appointments, and so we need to nominate and vote for President Pro Temp. So we will start. Do we have a motion to open nominations?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, do we have anyone to be nominated?
I nominate Jessica Sousa.
Okay,
I nominate Rick Easterwood.
okay. We have any questions about the process so far? Erica, you good? Okay. Do we have a motion to close nominations?
Moved.
A second.
Second.
All right, and so we'll just do like a roll call vote if that works for everyone, and so we'll go around and just vote either, I guess, Rick or Jessica. Craig,
Jessica.
Erica,
Rick.
Rob,
Rick.
Jessica.
Oh, hold on a second.
Right.
I just-
Those are words.
I know, I put a name in the wrong spot and then it threw me off. Okay, what was Jessica again?
Abstain.
Rick.
Do I have to abstain or no?
No.
Well, I mean, if she wants to redo hers, I guess.
She already abstained.
Vote for Jessica.
Okay, I mean, am I counting that right? It's 3-2 then?
Correct.
Yeah.
Rick, all right. Congratulations. We typically take a look at council rules. And I think we need to like approve those every year. That's kind of where we're at.
Was anything changed on these
No.
council rules?
The only thing I did was on the date, I put a line so that if we don't change anything, I can just put in the year instead of it.
I saw it was highlighted and I was just making
Yep.
sure.
It was just that part.
I read your report on what you wanted in Rule 34 was the time frame.
A suggestion I had previously was if we were going to change anything, that when we go into executive session and that we're getting near our time to, maybe if we can put some kind of thing in there that says, if we go in executive session and our time is getting close, that going in executive session will max it at another hour or something like that. I have no preference on that, but just a suggestion, because we've encountered that, twice
Yeah.
in the past couple times, so.
If that's something that we were wanting to do, I'd rather do it now before or after the fact. I mean, if that's a game changer, we can.
If not, I was gonna say, if not, we just do the same thing we did before, where we just suspend the rules and extend the time before the.
Any reason not to include that? Okay, if there's no other suggestions to be made to the council rules,
You know, it came up, it was one of our meetings. The social media had come up. There were a couple other things that came up.
I would like the social media clause taken out, that rule taken out.
I have been told that that's super oppressive, that borderline illegal.
As far as I know, there's no ORC rule on social media. I mean, the other stuff around ethics, there's ORC with that.
I was actually if Paul was staying for the full meeting, I was gonna ask his opinion at the end. Because I was told specifically, like, that's borderline taking away one of our amendment, like one of our rights.
But
do you want more time to look at it or?
no, I just want to get rid of it.
Okay, so you're putting a motion to strike that part.
Rule 38.
I ain't got that far yet.
I saw it, the bottom was the last one.
Just the whole rule.
Are we gonna have a social media policy then
I think we already do.
for
It's part of
record
that,
keeping?
part of that reach or that communication policy. It's at the end.
So are you,
Okay, so I see what you're saying. No, because the rule specifically is germane to conduct on social media. It has nothing to do with how we handle social media pages.
Right. Yeah, our social media policy is more about how we handle our own social media. I think that rule is something to the effect of that you shouldn't engage in back.
Yeah, and I don't.
And that's what you want to strike from it?
I want to strike the whole, I don't think the rule is needed.
Okay,
And it's not a rule, it's just a suggestion, and I don't think it's needed at all.
okay, so you have a motion to approve
Council rules minus Rule 38.
minus rule 38. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yes. Nay.
This opens up a lot of different things, especially what's happened in the last, I mean, that's just my opinion. So,
Okay, so that's 4-2, so vote passes.
I abstain.
it's automatic vote if you abstain.
No, it'd be 3-2 then.
Two, still does.
I'm just going on the record. It's not saying.
Okay.
I have a conflict with it.
Mhm.
committee assignments and regular meeting dates, I assume will be at some point this month. If you'll allow me some time here. Today marks the end of 11 years of working with the Village of Weston for me. And I just want to point out that there's an important distinction that I say with the Village of Weston and not merely for the Village of Weston, because simply working for the Village of Weston implies something transactional. And to me, working for the village would mean that I'm exchanging time and skills for a paycheck, completing tasks to meet someone else's objectives. That's what we call a job, a relationship that most of us have. But serving in small town government is not just a job. It's a partnership. It's a shared commitment to work alongside others towards a common goal. It requires ownership, investment, and motivation, and a belief that your contributions matter and directly affect outcomes. And without those elements, you're truly not serving the village, you're just clocking in. And that's why I insist that the role doesn't work if you're working for the village, not with the village. So I want to stress again that I don't work for you. I work with you. I work for us. And it has to be this way, because without the mutual respect and trust, without making it clear that everyone's perspective is valued, our shared efforts will eventually falter. The process matters as much as the outcome, and both require vision, purpose, and genuine connection to the village. So right now, I feel like I no longer have that connection. And because I don't work for you, I have to choose what's best for me. And it's a shame. I began this journey serving 2 years as a village council member. I started wide-eyed, eager, unsure of what to expect, because no one really knows what they're walking into when they serve. And I like to share a story, and if you'll allow me to share it one more time, my very first council meeting, as I pulled into the parking lot, I was delighted to see a parking lot full of cars. It felt exciting, and I was imagining what kind of important discussion might unfold. And I should have known better. Most meetings I had been to before only had a sparse gallery, but caught up in the moment, having just won a contested election with the top vote, I was excited. As the meeting began, it was soon clear that the crowd had gathered because they or their neighbors had received tickets for not shoveling their sidewalks. The mayor at the time, Jason, he addressed the crowd, and council voted to pardon those tickets. We as council, we listened, we understood, and we responded with empathy. And that was my first lesson in what local government should be: a process that involves genuine care, shared understanding, and a sense of community. The power that the council and the mayor wield is immense, and we have the ability to write laws, allocate your tax dollars, and genuinely advocate for the town on behalf of the town. And it's a role that demands serious thought because the only limits of what we can achieve are the ones that we place on ourselves. Unlike what many imagine when they think of government, those distant figures in Washington, our local government directly shapes our village. They do roads, they do parks, they do laws, policies, and ultimately they control the town's future. So let me be clear, the future of Weston is in our hands. And the goal should not be mere maintenance, but real progress. We should be able to openly talk about ideas, not for just maintaining the town, but for growing and safeguarding it against the changes of a world that no longer caters to small town life the way it once did. And we need to be able to pitch, dream, and collaborate to build the projects our town needs. Weston can fund them. Weston can build them. And Weston deserves them. So this brings me to my current conflict. One of my proudest facts is that I've worked with the village of Weston for over 11 years, including winning 4 elections and serving as its mayor for 9 years. A super humbling position. I take pride in having played a part in some of the opportunities and projects that Weston is on the verge of realizing. Some of the progress we've made, some of the dreams we've turned into action were the result of hard work and collaboration. The slow but steady increase in community participation is a shared success, a testament to what we can achieve when we do work together. As things stand now, Weston is on the brink of realizing some of its most ambitious goals, and it needs the courage and vision to follow through. But to reach these goals, we need renewed teamwork, and this process depends on the mayor, council, and the various boards and committees working together without personal politics or pettiness standing in the way. Fortunately, I found myself in a position where I can no longer contribute meaningfully due to those very obstacles. And it's a bitter irony that my deep love for Weston, my unwavering commitment for its future, seems to be the very thing that some are using as a reason to exclude me from the process. This town means too much to me to simply stand by and watch the commitment twisted into a liability. And quite frankly, it's a shame that it's being used to justify my marginalization. Despite my efforts to address the situation, both on my own and through council, I've reached a point where I can no longer provide the leadership and cooperation required. And it's not for lack of trying, but with these roadblocks firmly in place, I can't continue to serve as mayor in the way that this town deserves. So I step aside, hoping that some of these barriers can be removed and that new leadership can bring resolution and that Weston can continue to move forward, working together towards a brighter future. So I want to express my heartfelt thanks to everyone who has supported me throughout the last decade, my family, my friends, neighbors, and especially the voters who placed their trust in me. Also, thank Habitat for Humanity and the role that they let me take part in literally building the community. Your belief in my ability to lead and serve has meant the world to me. I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity. to contribute to the community. My wife and kids, I'm looking forward to being able to spend more time with you, something that has always been a conflict with this position. I'm proud of what we've accomplished. We've reopened the reservoir, enhanced our village with tree planting. We've built lots of roads. We rebuilt a bridge, a walking path. We seriously supported our parks and rec. And we built a sports initiative board. We also focused on creating well-paid positions within the village, something that is essential to the growth that we've been seeing. And most importantly, we worked together to build a stronger sense of community spirit. So these achievements are a testament to what we can accomplish together. Your support has been invaluable. While I may be stepping down, I'm not giving up on Weston. This town holds a special place in my heart, and I fully intend to stay involved in other ways. One such effort will be the establishment of the Weston Historical Society, an initiative I'm extremely passionate about. Preserving our history and the town's past and celebrating that is essential to building a vibrant future. And I just want to close with just it's been awesome to serve with you all, and it's been an honor. I should really be the only sad one here because Weston's best days are ahead of us. And I look forward to finding new ways to work alongside you all. Just to ensure a smooth transition, I'll be working closely with the staff and I guess with Rick to make sure that we can kind of pass leadership along. And so I just want to announce that I'll be formally submitting my resignation on or before the end of the month. Thank you for the time. Stephanie, anything?
Nope.
Harold.
The only thing I got is, I received a phone call last Thursday from the insurance company, and they said that they could not find an engine for our leaf back, so they are going to revert or give us a check for the amount that the insurance covers. And I have a company that I've been in contact with that sells them, so as soon as I get the information from them, I'll have that for the next public works meeting.
All right, great.
The amount that they're gonna pay the insurance,
It was 14,
is that the number that,
I think it was 14.5, it was 14.5, and then, they just had to take the deductible out. So I think 14.5 was what we were getting from the. That's what I remember.
All right, Ken, anything for council?
Yeah, so no permits been issued so far this month. And on the 17th of December, took pictures of a shed on Maple Street, gave it to Stephanie, send out notice. On the 3rd of December, I sent Stephanie an email regarding 2 properties with sheds that were placed without permits. A mobile home on Sycamore has front door off its hinges. There's one window that's open. So sent this information to the health department. And we're dealing with the structures at Broad Oak that still do not have permits. On December 31st, I received an email from Paul concerning the issue on Maple Street. And then we had a email conversation explaining the issue. January 2nd, I called Stephanie regarding a new fence that's going in on Russ Street without a permit. She sent out a notice to them. And January, today, again, I had an email to Paul concerning shed on Maple Street. It's in his hands. Okay. So that's it.
All right, great. Thank you. A couple committee reports, starting with community development and public affairs from the 17th.
Hold on. In attendance were myself, Brittany Klukowski, Jessica Sousa, and Jeremy Schroeder. We discussed the possibility of leaving the lights on the poles year round. Fiscal officer said once the Toledo Edison bill comes out, she'll calculate the cost. We discussed subdivision zoning code and the possibility of adding tiny homes to the current document. Any updates to zoning has to go to the planning commission. And the best practices, grants, the T-Mobile grant, we'll continue to discuss. Humanities Spark grant, a long time since our meeting. So what is that? What are we doing there? I don't think my notes are very.
I can look it up. Too.
Stick with the mural and make it collaborative, painted by community members.
Okay, and so what we were gonna do with the T-Mobile grant, we were gonna continue to discuss humanities grant, we were gonna look at a mural, right? I appreciate that.
That's what I have for Spark Grant.
Yeah. Ohio Department of Development, building demolition site. We have a list of abandoned properties and nuisance properties. I think Christie would need a copy of that, right? And then she could send that to county,
I
right?
can see, but I think we have to find who the contact is and just send it
Okay.
from us probably, but I'll ask her.
Seagull has reached out to me and the mayor, about doing a serve day. I believe it's in May. We were proposing a collaborative mural, possibly use the Humanities Spark grant to pay for paint and supplies. The Spark grant doesn't cover murals, but I think they would cover the paint and supplies.
It wouldn't cover an artist coming to paint a mural.
Yeah, but they
It would cover,
Historical base.
it would cover having a group get together and
So
doing
the
it.
school does want possible ideas for this serve day and what we can do. I believe it's in May. So we will continue with that on community development to come up with ideas on that.
Where were you thinking about putting the murals or mural?
I don't remember where we were thinking in that.
We had 3 locations.
Yeah. One was on the post office side in between where he says on there. I think where the other ones was. One was on Horns and Halos. And the third one, you had the one on Porky's. So that's the other third one.
That one's like super high up though.
I know. I mean, we're not gonna get kids. We're not gonna paint that. I got that.
I think the only other building side open is that one kind of by side track, right?
Yeah, that's the other one. We reviewed the ordinance regarding vehicles in parks, and there's a first reading on that. And moved to administrative process to discuss the USDA Community Facilities Direct Loan and Grant program with the grant writer for a possible new village hall. That's a non-match grant. No match. So,
All right. Parks and Rec from the 18th.
In attendance, Christine Long, Jeremy Schroeder, Jessica Sousa, Rob Meyerholtz, Rick Easterwood, Brittany Klikowski, Howard Lashway, Ron Dallas, Doug Marion, Samantha Wick, Greg Stevens, Digger Patel, Randy Hum. Jeremy opened the meeting as a mayor's meeting to hear candidates that are interested in being appointed to the Park and Recreation Board. Howard stated interest in community events that are more inclusive for the elderly as well as children, and tending to the park equipment. Is interested in being part of the group to help the board continue to move forward. Dallas pursued understanding on the financial aspects of the board and duties required, including equipment and parks maintenance. Dallas also stated communication as a main concern and interest in general, and continuing to pursue community engagement. Doug asked for clarification from past conversations revolving around a 501c3. Jeremy and Rob both clarified that those conversations were regarding potentially having an outside organization to bring in additional funding for the Parks and Rec Board, but not turning our current Parks and Rec Board into a 501c3. Doug also stated interest in being more involved with the community and volunteering with the parks where he can. Randy stated interest in seeing more activities for adults and healthy blend of activities for both children and adults. And Jeremy stated his he is looking for genuine interest, a good fit for the board, ideas for the future, and a willingness to do the work going forward. By default, the events that are put on will reflect the interests of the volunteers putting the time and effort into the events, while Christine, the current board member, stated that keeping the momentum and positivity going forward and being able to work side by side with the community is a priority. The decisions on rec board appointments were postponed until the first meeting of the year, scheduled for January 6th, 2025. That's it.
All right, a couple upcoming meetings, cemetery on the 9th at 6. Weston Sports Initiative Board is a meeting on the 15th at 5:30. And the next council meeting is Tuesday, January 21st, due to Martin Luther King Day.
Before we move on, I do have a quick question. Have we received any other interest in being on the rec board?
I've not received any other interest. No. All right, we have a resolution 2025-1. This is a resolution of the Village of Weston, Ohio, supporting the Ohio Commission for the United States Sesquicentennial America A250 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a time frame on this? Why we have to declare an emergency? I'm just curious.
It was part of them being, cemetery being an eligible, or us being an eligible community to apply for the grant, which was the 31st of December, but they are giving us an extension to
Yeah.
get this in.
Do you want to provide a little more background? on this
It's
for
just,
cemetery?
yeah, so the America 250 grant, part of being able to submit that grant, you have to be an eligible community, and there's a application process that Jody went through. And after she submitted, there's a liaison that reaches out that works with the community. And the next step was to get this resolution put in. If you remember from a previous cemetery report, the grant is being pursued by cemetery with the help of our grant writer, obviously, to support the next phase of the memorial garden, or heritage trees as they
Right.
call it. So
Yeah, and so this is a program that I guess the governor sponsored, but what this does is it endorses that program and their mission to educate, preserve, and innovate and celebrate every Ohioan in every county. And so obviously the grant is tied to this program in some way. Any other questions? What is the amount of the grant?
5,000?
I want to say it was 5,000.
Right. And once again, it was going to go towards working on their memorial tree garden.
No, it was 5,000.
Now with this bias taking place in this one, I mean, this is just a 1 year, one-time thing, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole part of that 250th celebration.
Do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Warner,
Yes.
Ms. Rupp,
Yes.
Mr. Meyerholtz,
Yes.
Ms. Suser,
Yes.
Mr. Easterwood,
Yes.
Ms. Klikowski,
Yes.
and a motion to approve resolution 2025-1.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We also have an ordinance of restricting vehicles on parks that I think has been thoroughly reviewed by the committee. Everyone had a chance to review those. It's been on the table for quite some time. I think the latest changes we made were mostly just flow. A little bit of a duplicate kind of section in there about vehicles that are emergency vehicles. So basically, it disallows vehicles and every type thereof from driving in our parks.
Does that have any limitation on the recycle bins and everything? I mean, I know it's probably a technicality, but it's.
And they're allowed to drive on the roads.
Okay,
This is just for the walking path.
Yeah.
The grass.
or grass or.
Right.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. It specifically says any property owned or leased by the Village of Weston, except areas designated for vehicular travel or vehicular parking. Okay, we'll consider that the first reading. Ordinance restricting the operation of vehicles in the village. Has council had a chance to review the bills?
Move to pay the bills.
Council moves to pay the bills. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. We have a couple citizens. Howard,
Yeah, nothing at this time.
Randy,
A couple of things. I noticed just as of last night, this really goes to you, I think. There are two street lights that are out. One is right here and the other is south of the Chrysler Motor. So it's blinking.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what he was doing that, right?
great, thank you.
The other thing I wanted to address, I've been doing some helping with a lady in Bowling Green, 72 years old, needs to have odd jobs done. And her request today was, would I come and shovel for her at 65? I don't, because that means I have to clear my own walk first to be in compliance with here, and then get there and take care of doing that. And it's one of the known killers of older men to get out and shovel snow. However, when I was a teenager, I used to make buku bucks shoveling snow. I'm wondering what has happened to the youth that don't have the entrepreneurial urge to get out and make some quick money by clearing sidewalks. There are plenty of elderly that need that help. I called in several different places in Bowling Green. Nobody had a list of names that they could reach out to get somebody to go over and take care of shoveling snow.
The university at one time had a list.
What I want to turn it to is, what do we have in Weston?
Oh, no, I agree. I thought you were
Do we
talking.
have a list, or do we have parents
who have children who should be getting their shoes on and going outside and shoveling the snow. It just doesn't seem right to me that they're going to sit around and say, oh, I've got 2 hours until the bus comes because we've got a snow delay, or, oh, I'm off school today because of the snow. And then they're not out helping to get everything cleared up.
I do believe some of those kids exist in town, and that's a great idea to give them kind of a
Encouragement.
yeah, or spotlight. Great idea.
So I don't know if that's something that can be set up to where if a person is in need, they can call down here and say, hey, do you have anybody? And you go, oh, I got a list.
Yeah, maybe we could start like a list or something, or even do a call out. Hey, if anybody wants their name on a list
You
for
could do
helping people. Yeah. Like even just a social media post or on our website, and then I can start a list and we can hang it in the hallway or if there's calls. So.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Anything else? Joe?
I didn't get a chance to come to the second meeting in December, but I wanted to thank everybody that participated in Wreaths Across America that was either there physically or helped on the back end. Harold and Stephanie did a lot on the back end, both with the publicity and receiving the wreaths. Craig and Erica and Jessica and Rick, Brittany, and the mayor were all there active, during the ceremony and actively laying the wreaths. I think we were done in an hour, and it was just amazing. It seemed like an insurmountable task when I first saw it, but we had lots of people show up. Wonderful news coverage that was on the event too. Great coverage on the beauty of the cemetery and its rich history that's there too. So I just wanted to thank you guys for being a part of it. As I had said in my email to you, I think true leadership starts at the bottom, just like that, actually being out and being involved and doing those things. It's far beyond just sitting at a desk. So I really appreciate all of you that got out there and actually did that. So we will be continuing Wreaths Across America. Again, we had 449 sponsored wreaths out of the 535, and I think that was just fantastic for the first year. So lots of comments. There was lots of social media activity, people that were thrilled that their relative was covered and wanted to be a part of it next year. So I think the momentum will just continue to grow. So I appreciate your help in kicking that off for the first year. So secondly, I just wanted to thank the mayor for the years of service. This man has been through nothing but hell at the hands of this council since he was first initiated or since he was first sworn in. It's no surprise what he went through. And none of you were on council at that point, so I can't sit here and blame you, but he's been through nothing but hell. And I find it a shame as a former business owner in this town that, had a business ran out of this town calculated by people that live here, that we're still continuing to deal with that. I've lived in Weston. It'll be 45 years on January 30th. And it's just a shame that we're still in that place when all we need to do is just work together. I'm actively involved, and it's not just a Weston issue. I'm actively involved in Grand Rapids, and we run into the same issues there. And I don't understand why we just can't put things aside and can't just work for the better good. For the longest time, Weston had, very little interest in parks, and we see a parks committee and recreation committee that was producing wonderful events and things that were going on, and they were supported. People were coming out for those. And then to see that all gone, and just to see what the mayor has taken over the last year for the very meager salary that he takes, nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that. And I'm speaking that to officials. I'm speaking that to residents as well. Work together. Let's see the common good. So it's unfortunate we're losing a good mayor. And I'm not just saying that because he's my brother. I was involved on the Chamber of Commerce here in Weston since I was 15 years old. We worked through a number of different mayors, and I've seen our police department leave, our fire department given away, the bank leave, the school left, and there were a few brief conversations about the school, but nothing meaningful that was ever done. And instead we're left with this. We're left with this. We're left with a dead downtown. And so how do we look at revitalizing that? How do we look at turning that into something, knowing that Weston is a bedroom community, that Weston is never going to be a community where we're going to have a thriving business district, full of unique shops and boutiques. While we would like to have that, we can be realistic that that's not going to happen. So instead we have great events, like the fall festival that was down there. I want to see that stuff continue. And in order to do that, there has got to be something that gives. There has got to be a working together. There has to be more efficient meetings. There has to be stop yelling and talking. And, even today I saw a comment on Weston Freedom, roads look great in Weston, feeling sarcastic. I'm like, you know what? The roads are passable. Just shut up. Like, shut up and say something nice for once. How hard is it to just say something nice about our community? So I was a champion of this community for years, and I was so beat down by those same people that put Jeremy through that for the first couple of years. How this man has stood a third term is beyond me. He's stronger than I am. And I don't even know. But the people spoke. The people wanted Mr. Schroeder as mayor. He was elected once, he was elected twice, and elected a third time rather heartedly. And it's disappointing that it's come to this, that it's come to bullying. I hope that you can see past that. I hope that you can see through that and work together for Weston and make Weston a community we can continue to be proud of. Make Weston someplace that I'm proud to come home to. I want my son my son is in the Army. He's out at the end of January. He's really considering not coming home. He's considering going somewhere else because it's like, do I really want to, come home to Weston? I want my kid to come home to Weston. I want my kid to be proud to come home to Weston. I want to be proud to come home to Weston at the end of every day. Do better, please do better for our community. Work together, put aside differences, put aside whatever hatred you have for the mayor, and just work together. Just make Weston as positive as we possibly can do. So I want you to know that I don't think Jesus wanted me here tonight because I couldn't find my keys. I couldn't find my phone. I couldn't find anything else. And so at that, I'm going to stop. Thank you very much for your time. Jeremy, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you as a business owner, as a resident, and as your brother. I'm extremely proud of you and everything that you've done to this community. The community owes you a debt of gratitude. You've done a wonderful job as serving as mayor and representing your community over the last 3 terms, and your term as council member too. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yep. Over here, you have to remind me of your name.
Paula and Tesla.
Okay. Tesla, anything for council? No? Okay. You get good notes. All right. Great. We have some virtual, Mr. Dallas.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Barely.
Okay, this is for Craig. I would step very cautiously to the tiny home situation. Considering that our church that was supposed to be apartment buildings has become a migrant camp. And I would hate to see that within the village limits happen again with tiny homes. Just a thought that you might want to consider when considering the zoning for tiny homes.
Thank you. Yeah, we will.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Marion. Anything for council? Mrs. Patel, anything? Oh, there's Doug. Anything for?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mrs. Patel? Mr. Patel?
No, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Okay. Bonnie, Mrs. Zebka? Anything for council, Bonnie? Okay. Is there one more person?
No, it's just mine and the screen share, so.
All right. And I believe that's everybody. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
The move.
Second.
Adjourned.
People are telling me,